For the first 30 seconds, imagine this as a time machine that throws you straight back into the noisy, neon-lit arcades of the early 90s where coins ruled lives, friendships were tested by losing streaks, and Street Fighter 2 wasn't just a game but a social experiment disguised as pixelated violence, because in this video you're going to discover the hidden mechanics you never noticed while panicking under pressure, the design secrets Capcom quietly buried inside the code, the strange balanced choices that accidentally created legends, the myths that were actually true, the rumors that were completely wrong, and the subtle tricks that separated button mashers from arcade gods, all explained in a way that will make you laugh, rethink your childhood memories, and realize that Street Fighter 2 was far more clever, chaotic, and influential than you ever imagined. So stay until the end because everything connects in ways no arcade cabinet ever told you. Street Fighter 2 did not politely arrive into arcades asking for attention. It kicked the door open, flipped a table, and demanded your lunch money, because before it existed, fighting games were mostly stiff, awkward experiments where punches felt like suggestions rather than threats. And then suddenly here came a game where every character felt alive, aggressive, and slightly unfair, which was exactly why people couldn't stop playing, since unfairness in the arcade didn't feel broken. It felt personal, like the game itself had decided you specifically were not allowed to win today. One of the biggest secrets most players missed was that Street Fighter 2 was never truly about fast reflexes alone, because beneath the surface chaos was a surprisingly deep system of priorities. Hitboxes, recovery frames, and spacing all quietly judging your mistakes, while you blamed the joystick, the buttons, the cabinet, or the kid who definitely cheated, even though the truth was that the game rewarded patience more than panic. A cruel lesson to learn while a crowd gathered behind you waiting for you to lose. Then there were combos, which famously were not planned in the way modern games planned them, because Capcom didn't sit in a room saying they wanted players to chain attacks into elegant sequences, but instead allowed animations to cancel in ways they hadn't fully anticipated, creating a glorious accident where players discovered that one hit could flow into another, and suddenly the game transformed from punch-kick chaos into something closer to chess played at lightning speed, with every mistake punished brutally and publicly. Another arcade secret was character balance, because while the roster looked fair on paper, the cabinet told a different story, since characters like Guile and Chun-Li quietly ruled entire arcades, not because they were flashy but because their tools were efficient, annoying, and soul-crushing, while others, like Zangief, were terrifying only if the person holding the joystick had monk-like patience and iron nerves, which meant that many players blamed characters when they should have blamed their own refusal to learn spacing and timing. What most kids never realized while smashing buttons was that Street Fighter 2 trained players psychologically, rewarding calm behavior and punishing emotional decisions, because jumping too much felt exciting but was secretly dangerous. Throwing fireballs felt safe until someone learned how to punish them, and mashing buttons felt powerful until a single well-timed counter erased half your life bar, teaching lessons about restraint that no tutorial ever explained. The arcade itself was part of the game's design, because Street Fighter 2 was built for spectators, with loud sound effects, dramatic hit reactions, and rounds short enough to keep coins flowing, turning every match into a mini-performance where losing wasn't just failure but embarrassment, especially when the winner refused to leave the machine and the crowd silently decided who was worth respecting. Hidden mechanics extended even to difficulty, because the AI didn't just get smarter, it got sneakier, reacting faster than human reflexes and reading inputs in ways that felt supernatural, creating the legendary belief that the game was cheating, which it absolutely was, but only because arcades needed to drain your pockets efficiently while convincing you that one more coin would finally be the winning one. Then there were the myths like secret characters, impossible moves, and rumors about hidden inputs whispered between friends, which spread because the game felt mysterious enough to support them, since nobody fully understood why certain things worked and others didn't, making Street Fighter 2 feel less like software and more like a living machine with moods, grudges, and favorites. Stage design also mattered more than players realized, because backgrounds weren't just pretty, they influenced perception, with cramped stages feeling more intense, open stages encouraging movement, and iconic music tracks subconsciously controlling player aggression, turning each fight into a different emotional experience even though the mechanics remained the same. Another overlooked secret was how Street Fighter 2 shaped player identity, because people didn't just pick characters, they adopted them, learning their moves, their rhythms, and their personalities, turning remains into disciplined purists, Ken players into reckless risk-takers, and Blanca users into chaos merchants who thrived on confusion, all long before the idea of mains became standard gaming language. The game also quietly invented competitive etiquette because arcade rules emerged organically, like winner stays, loser pays, no interruptions, and respect for skilled players, creating a social code, enforced not by the game but by the community, proving that Street Fighter II wasn't just played, it was lived. What makes all of this fascinating is that none of it was clearly explained, because the game trusted players to figure things out through pain, repetition, and public failure, which sounds brutal today, but created a generation of players who learned through experience rather than instructions, turning mastery into a badge of honor rather than a menu option. Looking back now, it's clear that Street Fighter II didn't just change fighting games, it changed how games could communicate depth without words, teaching players through consequences rather than tutorials, and proving that a simple premise could hide infinite complexity, if the systems underneath were strong enough. So the next time you remember that arcade cabinet, sticky buttons, loud crowd, and the sinking feeling of losing with people watching, remember that you weren't just playing a game, you were participating in a cultural moment that reshaped gaming forever, even if you never landed a combo or beat the local champion. If you enjoyed uncovering these forgotten secrets, hidden mechanics, and arcade truths, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment sharing your own Street Fighter II memories, and share this video with a friend who still swears they almost beat that one unbeatable player back in the day, because the legend of the arcade lives on through stories like yours.